Hello everyone and welcome to this new webinar session. We are going to talk about our Master in Luxury Management and Guest Experience. On the line with us today, we have a couple of guest speakers, including Dr. Nicoletta Giusti, our Program Director. Hello Nicoletta, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Laurie. How are you?
Good, thank you. Do you want to introduce yourself quickly for the audience?
Yes, I'm a sociologist. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. I'm a sociologist. I got a PhD in a French university, and before this, I had a couple of masters, one in political science and another one in sociology as well. The first one in the University of Bologna, the second in UEP Paris, Sciences Po, a French school. So I'm Italian, but I can say I'm pretty much entrenched also in the French culture. And I've been spending my latest years teaching in business schools in France and now in Switzerland, and being the director of programs in luxury management. I come from a luxury environment because I have my family has a business in menswear, luxury menswear. Product placement since 1887. So we can say that I was literally born in luxury. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicoletta. We also have a current student on the line with us today, Elodie Helen. Hello, Elodie. Can you please tell us more about yourself?
Yes, thank you, Laurie. Hi, everyone. So my name is Elodie Helen. I joined the Master of Luxury Management and Guest Experience last fall in presential. Now we are all in remote. I am half Canadian, half Swiss. I was a swimmer for 12 years, and before this master, I was studying communication and management in the University of Neuchâtel. And that's it. So don't hesitate to ask me any question if you have.
Right, thank you, Elodie. So we will start this presentation with Nicoletta. She will tell you more about the course content, career opportunities, and field trip. More panelists, you can already see two of them on the line with us. We'll join the session in the second part of the presentation. They will tell you more about the flexible study options available and how the career and internship team can support you throughout your studies. So let's start with Nicoletta. Oops, wrong slide. Nicoletta, so can you please tell us why a master degree is essential in today's market?
Yeah, thank you very much, Laurie. Yeah, this is my, how can I say, a point that it's really at my heart because the job market is more and more competitive. Especially in luxury, because luxury companies are among the most profitable in the world, let's say, together with some digital ones and with the pharmaceutical ones who are always, but particularly in present times. And the luxury companies, they are attractive for people because, of course, they deal with culture, they deal with beautiful products, and they deal with something that is deeply rooted, let me say, in people's soul and dreams, because it's the industry of dreams, but it's also the industry of heritage, of craftsmanship. So it's particularly pleasant. And there are many people aspiring at entering in luxury, and therefore competition is very, very high. Let me say that on a general way, we are in a knowledge era, so there is no place, unfortunately, for people who do not develop the right skills in knowledge. And this means to acquire superior skills, which is at least a master degree. This is you cannot, it's not uncompromised, you know, you cannot finish and entering and staying in the job market with a simple bachelor degree, because at some level you will find, you know, the famous glass ceiling, especially for women, unfortunately.
So on to the program structure now.
Yeah, that's why I'm being you know, Glion as a school, and myself with my experience, we have created this master program, which has everything in order to form, let me say, good managers first for the luxury industry. And to form good managers, again, you need to form good persons. That's why Glion and myself are taking particular care of our students and trying to really teach an attitude before everything, because there is not good management without the right and a good attitude. You know, doing good is something we really believe in it. And that's why the overall philosophy of the course is to use the tradition of Swiss hospitality in order to let people acquire the right mentality, so sense of service, attention to detail, and the culture of excellence. So before the program, there is the possibility to follow a hospitality immersion program, which is particularly important to me, because learning by doing is something I really believe in. And that's why, in order to understand what service is and what leadership via service is, because I believe a good manager and a good leader is someone who is at the service of other people, you need to practice it. Okay, so the hospitality immersion program is not mandatory, but it's very important to really acquire the right mentality. Then you have a couple of semesters that are organized in block teaching. The reason why we prefer block teaching is because I really pick up the best teachers, the best possible teachers, both from academia and from the professional world, from the luxury world. So of course they cannot be, you know, it's impossible to let them come to campus, you know, every year, 2 days every week for 6 months. So that's why we have block teaching. That means normally 1 course per week, started and ended. Okay. So we have 2 semesters. During semester 1, semester 2, depending also on the events, we have the field trip, which is very important, because learning via experience, learning via doing, it's, as I said, very part of the philosophy of the program. So the field trip is an occasion, one, to see in practice and in person, and maybe with the 5 senses, as I say, the things that we have been discovering already in class, theoretically, and with our greatest teachers. And secondly, to meet companies, because the success of the master is placement. So I start, and we start with my colleague Jacquie Lutz from Career Service, working on your placement since day 1. And that's why also we take the chance to organize meetings with companies and company visits, with workshops, possibly with the HR, during the field trip. Then in semester 2, we have a fabulous project, and I'm particularly happy that Elodie is today here, because she's one of the vice presidents coordinating this project, which is the luxury event. It is a project completely organized by the students. Of course, it's coordinated by me in the role of art director, or naughty art director. Which is, it can be, for instance, this time it's going to be an auction for charity. An auction that means, you know, luxury objects, vintage will be auctioned, or also luxury experiences for the sake of a good cause. And it's particularly interesting because it can put at proof many competences and skills that the students have acquired during the taught part. And also they will have the possibility to be mentored, possibly by companies, and for sure by the teachers who are at their disposal and who are their own teachers. Then in the end, in semester 3, it is the more practical part. So there is a possibility to choose between an internship of 6 months and a business research project, which is a thesis, a final essay. It is, you know, it's either or, but let me say the most of the students, of course, are selecting the internship, because they are here to enter the luxury world, which is a particularly closed environment, what they call in French a milieu. So it's not that easy, and the first step usually to enter this world, it's to step in via an internship. Thank you very much, Laurie. If you can go a little bit more inside every single course, inside a single modules. So in semester 1, we have, there are general labels, luxury business environments and marketing and brand management, and then the field trip usually during semester 1. But for instance, in this intake, we have postponed everything to semester 2 in order to be able to circumvent the obstacles and hurdles given by the pandemic. So initially, there is economics and sociology of luxury. Whose teacher? It's me. Business trends in luxury hotels, resorts, and events. Gastronomy, units of affairs, fine wines and spirits, which is a particularly important class to me because it's not just theoretical, but it takes place also in practice, with a couple of days passed between service in our gastronomic restaurants, so at a very high level, between the service in the restaurant and kitchen. So it means really acquiring at the best possible level the sense of detail and excellence that you need, not just to say, because we're not supposed just to stay in hospitality, but you can apply it everywhere in the luxury world, and it is really what you need to stay in the luxury world. You can apply it in retail, you can apply it everywhere, because luxury, as the devil, it's in the details. And then ultra luxury travel and experiences, and then luxury fashion and design, because luxury fashion design is the engine of the luxury world. Let's think about the overall, the turnaround in communication from Louis Vuitton that was given by the very fact of the hiring of Virgil Abloh as a fashion designer, or of the menswear line. But then Louis Vuitton took another way to communicate, by the simple hiring of a new designer. Then building brand equity, experiential economics, and a couple of digital courses, one digital transformation and data analytics, and digital marketing in the luxury industry, because marketing, even in luxury, now is digital. So I want to provide all the skills that you need in order to be successful, even if you're not going to occupy marketing positions, but it's absolutely seminal to understand the way digital marketing is working, because marketing today, it's not 4P, 7P. Yeah, this is the basics, but it's digital. So this is absolutely of primary importance. Then I already spoke about the field trip, and we can move definitely to semester 2, please. In semester 2, we have what we call luxury business environment, luxury experience and innovation, and strategies and business models, sort of the tough part, let's say. So luxury experience and innovation is, we have a class that I particularly cherish as well, service culture and operational excellence, because it's a 30-hour class with a very experienced teacher in retail, and the creation and the delivery of beautiful and memorable experience to customers. And the point is really to understand, from strategy to the single operations, how to create and deliver a perfect luxury experience to the customers, who are at the heart, of course, of the business. Then design thinking, in order to learn how to create and carry out a project with the particular approach and discipline, which is design thinking. Then sustainable luxury and design, which is because sustainability, it is one of the big, huge trends of the present and future of luxury. New frontiers and customer experience. Impactful design for retail and hospitality. So in order to understand how do you convey the perfect experience also through design, also through the design of the retail environment, for both for shops and for hotels and hospitality environment. Then, of course, a 30 hours course, which is really at the heart of the program, which is retail management, because retail is the money maker of the business. Retail, let me tell you that, for instance, the flagship store of Louis Vuitton in the Champs-Élysées has 350 employees. So it's like a medium company. So imagine being the director of such a store. That's why you need to, at least be very competent and acquire the basics of retail management. And then there is a part of business, of solid business, strategic management of luxury brand, intercultural leadership and talent management, corporate finance and value creation, business models in luxury, and legal environment of the luxury industries. So we focus on human resources, we focus on how to make money and how to manage money on the KPI in order to understand, to create, and to manage them in order to form the strategy, which is, maybe the most refined and the most important part of the work of a manager in luxury. But of course, here you will receive education by really the best possible teachers. We will see it in a short while who is teaching that. Luxury event is the final event of the second semester, and it will be, as I said previously, the place and moment in which you're going to really put at proof everything that you have acquired inside the program. And of course, you need to start working on this since day one, together with placement, as we would say after talking about the internships.
Thank you, Nicoletta. Perhaps you can share a few highlights of her learning journey. What you've learned so far.
Well, yes. So by now, the school pushes you to become better, like on every course, on every class you take, but also outside the class. You meet so many students from everywhere. You can make your network so big just by asking. Like, you don't have to fear asking. The worst that can happen is a no. So you can approach people, the professor out there, to help you. The students are here to help you. You learn a lot from the other students, other cultures. So overall, that's what I have to say on that.
Elodie, what was your favorite class?
So my favorite class, it's hard to say, but the first that comes into my mind is the digital transformation one, because we had a professor who works for Google, and the class was very concrete, but it was the final project that really impressed me, can I say. We divided the class into departments, as in a company you would do, and we had to develop a digital transformation for a fictional company with specific objectives. And it was really, really challenging. We barely slept the night before we did the presentation, and I think we all discovered the abilities that we didn't expect we had. So, for example, like organization, pressure, resistance to pressure, and teamwork, really teamwork and communication between us.
Very good. Very good. It means also that you could really use also something that you have learned also in your background, playing sports, because supporting and dealing with pressures is something that it happens every day in the workplace, and that's why we encourage also the professors, the teachers to use this kind of techniques in order to enhance your learning experience. But still, you need to. It's a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So since we are talking a little bit about the teachers, because people, this is a slogan from LVMH, I'm stealing it, but I believe into this because people makes the difference. So of course, all the luxury programs looks a little bit like each other, but to me, because of course you cannot skip, a strategic management class into a master in management, even if specialized, you cannot skip corporate finance. But teachers make the difference, people make the difference. So, for instance, for talent management, we have here on the left side of the screen, you can see Cecilia Preverelli, who, in spite of her beautiful smile, she's a very tough manager from now she's working for Essilor, and she's in charge. She's the director, global director of development in IHR and of the executive careers at Essilux, which is by far the largest groups in optical. Luxottica, most of you who are wearing glasses are likely to have lenses and frames from this group. And she used to do the same job at the European level at Louis Vuitton, and she was previously LVMH and McKinsey. Then you have Eleonora Rosati as a professor of law, one of our two usual professors of law, because sometimes someone is not available, but we have, of course, always the best possible. Eleonora, she's got a PhD also. She's a lawyer, and she's professor of law now in Sweden, but she has studied in the Cambridge University. And then Sylvain Rosman, who is coming from Mazars. Mazars is not one of the big four, but it is one of the largest auditing company in the world. It's French-based originally, but it's present all over the world. And they are the official auditors of LVMH, Kering, and Goldman Sachs. So, you're going to learn corporate finance from someone who are really experienced and knowledgeable in this. If you think about the recent acquisition of Tiffany, which was one of the largest deals in luxury in the recent days, of course, Mazars was into the deal. Adolfo Martini for design thinking. It's a very experienced manager coming in the past from L'Oreal. He was both, as in L'Oreal, they switched different departments. So he was in marketing and he was in the HR, and now he's an independent consultant who is dealing with design thinking, but as you can understand, he's very specialized in luxury. And then Mathieu Tranvan, who is the in charge of the luxury accounts at Google in Paris, which means in Europe in general. So luxury accounts in Paris means LVMH and so on. And he's the teacher about whom we were speaking a few minutes ago with Elodie.
Thank you, Nicoletta. So now we are moving to the second part of this presentation. So if you have any questions for Nicoletta or Elodie, feel free to put them in the comment section. We will get back to you in a short while. So let's welcome our panelists. So Ruth and Michael, our expert in remote learning. Hello, Michael, and hello, Ruth.
Hi there.
Hi, good afternoon.
It's great to join you.
I'm working at
quickly. Yes, I'm working at the sister institution of Glion, which is Les Roches, and I work closely with Mike to help developing a solid remote learning experience for our students during these difficult times.
Yeah, my name is Mike Macdonald, originally from Scotland. I work here at Glion, managing education technology, based out of Switzerland.
Thank you. And we also have Jacquie Lutz, Head of Career and Internship. Hello, Jacquie.
Hi, Laurie. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you today. So I head up the Career and Internship department here at Glion. And if you come to Glion, we'll be working really, really closely with you to help you secure those amazing internships that Nicoletta has already spoken about.
Great. So you might be interested in this master, but you might be wondering, what if I cannot travel to Switzerland in March or in September? So we have some flexible study options for you, and I will leave the floor to Ruth and Michael to introduce all of these options.
Okay, thank you. I'll go first, if that's okay, Ruth. I think one of the main points we want to get across to you, if you can switch to the next slide, please, Laurie, is what is remote learning and what is online learning, because these definitions are kind of used interchangeably, and it's changing. What was once online learning is now changing into something else, what we might define as remote learning. So we say that online learning was what we had in the past, because everybody still thinking that. What was it? Now we're thinking high quality video content, so you get lots of videos on there. and you get a high curated learning journey. What that means is you have learning designers designing bits of learning, and then so you're online on this platform on your computer. Now, that's what online learning was in the past. You're just on your computer, interacting with the computer. A lot of the time, the interactions were text-based. So you got some problems, you're interacting, just using chats and forums, really. And there was no real interaction with other students and with other faculty. It was really kind of just text-based, and you were kind of alone. So that's how we define online learning. And these definitions are changing. Somebody else might call online learning where we are today, but we call where we're at today remote learning. And we're taking the best bits from the online learning, and we're moving forward with it, and we're bringing and bundling that together into remote learning. We're designing this new package. What we've learned, and by the way, what all education establishments have learned over the last 12 months is incredible. Yeah, what online learning, remote learning, what it was before this pandemic is something completely different now. And so we're learning and we're continuing to learn. And when we're doing that, we're kind of using 3 guiding principles for designing our new remote learning experience. We want to maximize connections as much as possible, regardless where you are. If you're on campus, if you're away from us, studying remotely or online, we want to maximize these connections. And these connections might be with lecturers, will be with lecturers, they will be with visiting lecturers, will be with industry experts. And we want to give you as much opportunity to interact with them, to get content from them, but also to ask some questions. We also want to give you lots of opportunity to meet with other students. So what you might find, or what you will find when you do courses here, you're in our virtual learning environments. They're called Moodle. It's called Moodle. You meet your lecturers, say in this classroom, in this Teams room. You have interactions with them. They give you some tasks to do. And what might happen is then you go into breakout rooms and you discuss these tasks. We're trying to develop critical thinking skills at these levels. So you're meeting with other students, you're developing your analytical skills, your critical thinking skills, and then you go back into the main classroom and have that discussion again. So that's one of the main things we're promoting, and we're designing our systems for that, to maximize the connections between other students and lecturers. Now, when you're on these systems, if you're remote, you're away from us, they have to be consistent. Yeah, so we're working on consistency, so you know where you're at. So you go on there, you know how you're going to get assessed, you know when your interaction possibilities are, and you're going to get feedback to know where you're at in that journey. We're not going to overwhelm you when you're in that. We're taking lots of care not to give you too much too soon, but enough that you can continue on and work at your own pace, but also not to overwhelm you. Yeah. So to do that, we've got a consistent design across all our programs and all our courses within there. Of course, there's room to maneuver, and what's on one course is completely different to what's on another course, but there's consistency there, so we're not overwhelmed. Last point, when we come to designing this stuff, we're using high quality media where appropriate. Now at the master's level, it's completely different to other levels, but we use, where it's appropriate, high quality media, high quality tools. So to help develop your learning, a lot of that time is engaging with each other, using case studies, using industry experts, but sometimes you're using tools to help that connection as well. So I think that's the main points we want to get across. Online learning, something in the past. It's changing the whole world over. And what we're trying to do is to maximize connections, give you that consistent feel, and use high quality media where it's appropriate. I think that was the main points that we wanted to get you across from that. And I think I'll pass you over to Ruth, who wants to give you a little bit about the high flex option, which is same but a little bit different.
So thinking ahead to the possibility of having classes face-to-face on campus again, and this brings us back to the flexible study options that you have. Some of you may be able to come on campus immediately at the beginning of semester. Some of you may need to start your studying remotely and then join us on campus later. And others of you may be choosing to study from home for the entire semester, studying remotely. The great thing about our high flex option is that we can cater for these 3 very different groups of learners all inside the same class. So students who are face-to-face, those who are joining a live session streaming in, and those who are somewhere else in the world and will catch up later can all learn in parallel beside one another. And this choice and this flexibility was very successful for our students back in spring and has now become a mainstay of what we're offering our students going forward. All of the while, we ensure that whatever learning mode you're in, you have an equivalence of learning. That means that your learning outcomes are all achieved and learning activities are developed for you depending on your learning mode, and that you have equal access to faculty, to other students, and to learning materials via all of these interactions that Mike was describing a few moments ago. And of course, we're aware that your situation might fluctuate. You may intend to come on campus and then find that you're not able to. You may be on campus and find that you need to quarantine. And this high flex option allows a maximum of flexibility so that whatever the circumstances are, your studying will not be interrupted. Thank you very much.
Now on to Jacquie.
So if you remember, I take care of career and internships, and I'm sure that that is going to be something that is really going to interest you when you come to Glion. Nicoletta's already given us a great overview of the academic content and side of the program, and Mike and Ruth about the connectivity side. And one thing that is also equally important to you and probably extremely important are going to be the opportunities that you will find when you come to Glion. So as you can expect from any university career department, we will really take care of you in terms of all the basic things that you will need, such as getting a polished CV together, writing a really top quality motivation letter, giving you interview fake interviews to develop your skills, to show you how to negotiate with a really good interview with employers. But we will also provide you some additional support in terms of some innovative ideas, especially tailored to the current climate, which I'm sure you all are aware is not the easiest to navigate. So one thing that will happen very early in the program in March is that you will undergo some online psychometric testing. So we're doing this in conjunction with some outside providers who will organize this psychometric testing and giving you some insight via these tests into your professional profile and who you really are and what kind of potential you have. This will help you to unlock all your hidden abilities that you haven't really cottoned onto yet, and to open your eyes as to who you are and what perhaps could be your future career path. What are your traits? What are the things that you want to be pushing forward when you speak to recruiters and highlighting? Obviously, this will stand you in some very, very good stead for our online recruitment day, which will take place in April. Now, every semester we hold a recruitment event. Usually it's been on campus these past few years, and we bring numerous companies onto campus to hold meetings with students, give presentations, interviews, one-to-one discussions. A lot of networking goes on. It's a really exciting day. Obviously, last year we had to adapt like everyone else and all our different services. So we held an online recruitment event in November, the first of its kind. It was really successful, and we're going to hold the second one in April. It's going to be even better because we've made some improvements. These events always, you know, as Mike was saying, a year ago we didn't have all the knowledge we have now. We're a year into this crisis. We have a lot more knowledge about online recruitment and we're all a lot more comfortable with it, let's put it that way. So we're hoping to have in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 companies present on that day. All the students will be invited to attend, to network and have interviews with companies. All the CVs will be approved by then and on the portal. This is something that we will do with you also very quickly in the semester, is make sure that your CV is completely up to date and looking amazing. I'm sure you are aware of the pressure on a student to have a perfect CV with no mistakes. Well, this is something we take very seriously here at Glion, and we are extremely perfectionist with your CVs. We'll make sure, and your personalized career support advisor will be working with you very closely on these. That said, she is, the support you will have is one of our most experienced advisors, dedicated specifically to guiding MSc students. So she is very much aware of the different profiles and the different needs and requirements associated with master's students. You'll also be given the opportunity to connect with regional alumni in the form of joining our alumni organization, and also when we are able to bring them on campus and maybe have them give you particular presentations, etc. One more thing to note here is our online job platform. We have a career internship portal. Again, this is where your CV will be uploaded very early in the semester. All our recruiters, and we have up to 5,000 recruiters on this portal. Their coordinates are there, their contact details. You will be able to reach out to them, contact them. Your CV will be there when they go in searching. Maybe they will come across you. And also, this is where they are posting their opportunities. So when it comes to looking for your internships, and these will obviously be taking place in 2022, there will be plenty of offers there for you to choose from. Laurie. Thank you. So start your master's, gain a mentor. What does this mean? Well, this means that we're offering you also a very special gift this semester, which will be that of having your own mentor. This we will be organizing with our alumni organization. You will get very easy and quick access to the alumni organization, and you will be specifically matched to a mentor who will correspond to your kind of profile. So as a luxury student, you would be matched to somebody who is very prominent in the luxury industry. Might be an alumni, might be a Glion alumni, might be a Les Roches alumni, might be an external who is also very prominent in luxury. What will you gain from having a mentor? I think it's been quite extensively shown that mentorship is really beneficial to graduating students. It will help to give you self-confidence. It really helps to bridge the gap between the industry and academia, universities, student life, and students. So it's really something that will help you to better integrate into and glide into the professional world, let's say. You'll be able to share your hopes, your dreams, your worries, your doubts with your mentor. That's what a mentor is all about, listening and giving guidance. You will also be able to listen into special sessions and presentations given by these mentors to a wider audience, not just a one-on-one or a smaller group of mentors, but something that will be beneficial to the group. Obviously, if this will last for your entire program, and you will be able to continue your discussions with your mentors as and when it suits you. And obviously, if you hit it off and there's a great connection, why not continue afterwards? You know, this can be also the start of a great network for you, an introduction to a specific company, perhaps. Don't forget that mentors also have their own connections. If there's something that they think they can match you up with someone else, you know, this is what it's all about. So it's really an additional boost to your networking possibilities, and something that we're very proud of and we think that you are going to love.
Thank you, Jackie. We will go very briefly over the entry requirement. Can you all see my the next slide? It froze, I think.
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. Very briefly, the entry requirements. So the minimum age is 21 years old. You need to hold a bachelor degree, and you need to meet our English language requirement. So we won't really go into details for the entry requirement. If you have any specific questions about the application process, the fees, scholarship, I invite you to go directly onto our website, www.glion.edu. You can use the contact form and ask your question directly to one of our counselors. It's easier because it's really a one-on-one relationship, one-on-one advice. So I already received a couple of questions, so let's go to the Q&A. First questions, probably for Nicoletta. What type of internship the student can do? What type of, in what fields, what type of position they might be able to do for their internship?
It depends pretty much on your background as well, and on the companies, and countries as well. So it is, but let me have an example. If you wish to enter one of the companies in the portfolio of the largest group in the world, which is LVMH, but it is true more and more also for Richmond, for instance. They are pretty focused on retail. In LVMH, they do not think that you can go to other positions if you do not understand your customer, and the only and possible way to understand the customer is to gain shop floor experience. So you can, of course, find some first experiences, some internships as a, I don't know, CRM coordinator or as a coordinator in HR, etc. Coordinator usually is the label that you give to junior role. But really, if you want to step immediately into a company like Dior or Vuitton, etc., the primary experience will be 90% in retail. And then, because they need to understand if you are valuable, and they want to make sure that you understand what are the needs and the expectations and the wishes and the rationale and the way of thinking of the customer, which is, of course, at the heart of the preoccupation of every luxury company. Then there are many internships also in digital, because, of course, maybe better than me, then digital is pretty much depending on the age of people who are using it. And so, I would be totally unable to provide content for TikTok, for instance. And so they hire people like you. Yeah, this is absolutely. I got also many alumni, personal alumni, also from past business schools, who are now working in digital in different positions. Now, of course, the old ones are in managerial, but because they definitely need to understand how to communicate in a certain way to younger and younger people, different generations.
Thank you. Anything to add, Jackie, or we covered everything?
I would absolutely agree with what Nicoletta has just said. I think the best way into luxury companies is retail. I have a scoop. I was talking to a new luxury company on our list, and I'll share that with you, Nicoletta, later. Talking to them yesterday, and they were talking about opportunities in retail. And again, it's for the same reasons. You need to know the company. You can't work for the company in marketing. You can't sell it. You can't represent it unless you know the company and the clients. It's like working in hospitality. You can never hope to be a GM unless you've done operations. And I was listening to Sébastien Bazin, who is CEO of Accor, this time last week, and he was saying operations is the way to go. It's the counterpart for luxury is retail, because this is where you're going to test your knowledge, learn the groundwork, learn the basics. If you were to go into a luxury company in a marketing role, how would you know what you're going to market? How would you know the style of the company? How would you know what to do? How would you know what to sell? You would probably very quickly, and if you were given some kind of management role, you would very quickly trip yourself up, because you wouldn't know how to behave, you wouldn't know what's expected of you. Even if you have the best manager, you still need some independence, and that you need to see how to behave by learning on the shop floor. And I have to add that these retail positions, it's not like working in Zara, huh? And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about real customer service with clients with extremely high expectations. Okay, so it's a challenge every day. Every client needs something personalized. It will push you, believe me. It's not just working in a shop. Okay.
Yeah, Jackie, it's worth it to mention it. Thank you for reminding me. My students last semester had the possibility to have a virtual tour of the Dior store in Geneva. That was absolutely amazing, and we had the director of the store and some of the the grand vendeurs, as they call them, some of the best client advisors, who are talking to us about the amazing luxury experience they organize for the top customers. And it's absolutely like organizing, I don't know, the ball for Cinderella or something. It's something absolutely fabulous. So it's not just, you know, giving an object to a person in exchange of money. Absolutely, this is not the case.
You also become the face of the company to a certain extent, and how you behave with your client will depend on the customer coming back or not. So you have a great responsibility in that respect.
Yeah.
Any more
So we
questions?
talked about yeah.
We could talk all day.
We have a lot, so let's get rolling. What about the other industry? We talked a lot about fashion, a bit about travel. Are there any other industry that could possibly join after this master?
Yeah, absolutely. Think about the fact that luxury is an industry that involves, let's say, the top segment of different industries, because the luxury sectors are personal luxury goods, but within personal luxury goods you have leather goods, you have fashion, you have cosmetics, you have jewelry, watches. This is just personal luxury goods. Then the main sector, indeed, it's cars. So goodness, and imagine Maserati, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and then just to mention a few from UK, since we have people from the UK here, just Aston Martin or Bentley or Rolls-Royce, So then you have the travels, and you have the hospitality, arts, fine arts. We have Art Basel in Switzerland, one of the largest and most important trade fairs in the world about fine arts, and most interesting. And the relationship. So really, literally, by following, attending a master in luxury management, you learn the skills, first of all, to be a good manager in general, and then to be a good manager, let me say, in every sector or in every segment of sector in which is important to deal with excellence and to deal with top customers, because it is very delicate. It's not just dealing with everyone. And then you can use it also in other sectors. There was Angela Harren. She was moving from Burberry to Apple. There were now I don't have the names in mind because I'm getting old. I'm sorry, apologies for this, but there's nothing I can do about it. But there were managers from Yves Saint Laurent also moving to the digital world, because exactly in the digital world it was kind of too mainstream, and when it has to deal with some digitally wise and people, but a little bit picky as a customer, like old people like me are, they needed skilled people for this, so they were hiring from luxury. So you are learning skills, attention to detail, excellent service, that are useful in every kind of company. So what is good also, for instance, one of the managers who used to be my teacher in the past, and maybe I can hire her as a teacher in the future in Glion, Daniela Riccardi, a former CEO of Baccarat, and now she's in Moleskine, but she comes from Procter & Gamble. And some of my students who had the chance to have her as a teacher in the past, they moved from luxury to Procter & Gamble now. So it's not just sectorial, but it's about learning a mentality, as I said previously.
Thank you. Question about the remote learning now. So if I select the 100% remote options, how will the group project be managed? Am I be able to participate to field trip? And what about the luxury event?
Maybe Elodie can say something about it. Of course, we do. We provide all the tools and the means to do to run a good group experience. I believe it's doing quite well so far. Elodie, what do you think? We manage.
Yes, completely. And beside the class, you live on the campus, so you have at least the chance to create friendships during meals or the weekend. So normally you find friends for the group project, so it's not a problem.
And where are you? Can you please explain where are you now? And from how many countries we had a meeting yesterday for the luxury event?
Yes, so yesterday we had a meeting, and the class was we were done with the class on the 2nd, so everybody went home. And I was in Canada, so I am in Canada. Jay was in the USA. We had people
Los
in
Angeles.
Los Angeles. We had people in Hong Kong, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, everywhere in China, and yeah, in Switzerland.
In Thailand as well.
Thailand, yeah.
So, you know, there's no better witness because we had a class about luxury event yesterday. We had it, of course, we are still in the preparation, but, you know, we manage. And for the field trips, last December, I've been organizing a hybrid field trip, which was not easy to do because we were caught a little bit by surprise with the lockdown in Geneva, where we were supposed to go, and I had organized everything to go there in person. But we managed to have online meetings with Richmond, Cartier, Gégère-Lecoutre. And then since the campus was open and we could have, you know, we could attend the restaurant, we had a fine dining experience in the campus. So this will be a little bit what we're going to do. We work pretty much on the concept of hybrid in order to provide an experience as possible, as much as we can live, as we do in the BBA Connect, and remote, but by having the actual experience, which is meeting people from companies. I don't know if there is anybody else who wants to say something, but this is actually our experience so far and now, and then of course with the means that the school is giving us is going to be just better.
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly. I can only agree. I think it doesn't matter where you are, if you're on campus or you're remote, and even if you switch between one of those and the other, the experience should be exactly the same, and it won't change because we've got the tools to support that.
And what about the different time zone? How do you manage a different time zone?
Like every company, every global company, you know, we try. Usually, I try to put when I know that I've been managing. Listen, last semester I had people during the first lockdown. I had one student in Mexico and another one in Vladivostok. Okay, so you know, the same time zone of Korea. Come on. So of course it wasn't that easy, but we managed to put, you know, one class in the morning and one in the afternoon, and try to squeeze the class around lunchtime. That was not too bad for people in China and not too bad for the one in Mexico. And at that time, it was the very first time we were really caught by surprise for the first lockdown, as all over the world, you know, but we managed pretty well. And let me say that the students in the end were happy and did not really suffer. Also, teachers are of course more at disposal, you know, organizing one-to-one sessions, because also you cannot expect people to stay there online for 3 hours, or you need to disconnect and reconnect, and, you know, organize the group works around, you know, small group experiences, and in order not to let them stay, you know, people in front of a screen for someone else, blah 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 blah, speaking for 3 hours. So and now we're very happy to have your help, of course.
Remember, just one thing to remember.
I can just jump in and say that in this time, all businesses globally, they've transformed their business practice, and working in this way virtually has become the norm. And I'm not sure that many businesses will ever revert back to a need for constant face-to-face interactions. So students who are learning to interact in this kind of remote way, to work in groups, to achieve project results, despite not being in the same physical room together, this is a really important competence to take out into the working world with you in 2021, I think.
Yeah, I totally
agree. I totally agree. This will be something that's really sought after. People who are at ease in front of the screen, who are tech savvy, as you certainly are, and we're all becoming, but probably not as much as the younger generation. But it's something that will be really, really sought after, and we just have to get used to it, and we have to work around it and work with it. And I think, you know, an introduction to this program. I do believe that also the courses and the sessions are recorded. So you know, if you miss one because you know you were asleep or you fell asleep or it was too late or you were having dinner or whatever might happen, you can usually pick up on the session afterwards because it's been recorded. That's right, Nicoletta, right?
Yeah, definitely. Recorded and put it on Moodle,
Yes.
which I have on Mike, who is so precious for this. And yeah, but definitely. And also, teachers are fully aware of the needs of the students, and they're ready. I remember, Elodie, during your classes of design thinking, it was the method actually adopted by Adolfo, dividing you into small groups and popping up in class, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
So we are really, because we are conscious of what Ruth just said. So first of all, global companies have already been working like this, perhaps a little less. They were counting pretty much on, you know, on flights and on, you know, flying all over the world. But now, you know, also because they are struck in the finance, etc., they will not go back to the same way. So we need to learn how to work in a different way. We all have to do it, and we are already doing. So it's good also to
and
get.
if I can add, this is where the younger generation is going to shine compared to the older generation, as you've already said. You guys have the skills, have so much ease at using this. We are so used to, in our generations, face-to-face meetings. This is all very new for us, and not everyone is totally comfortable with this. So if you have these skills, you will definitely stand out and definitely be getting those jobs out there.
Definitely.
Thank you. Now a question for Elodie. So we've been talking about remote learning a lot. How is the student life in remote learning? You talked a bit about that earlier, but you know, how did you manage to connect with your fellow classmates?
Yeah, so studying remotely is not that horrible. I had the chance at the beginning to have 2 weeks in face-to-face, so at that point I have made some friends. But if you don't have that chance, it will still be possible because the professor also take care of mixing groups when we do projects, mostly in the beginning of the year. So you will meet many people, and not only people of your nationality. So it's a real asset of the program. And yes, there is a lot of committees, and I'm not in one of these, but I think there is like 6 or 7: sports, wine, gastronomy, whatever you.
Green committee.
Like. Yeah, exactly. So no, we leave it correctly. It's fine, and you have the weekends. And so if you are on the campus, then you have plenty of activities to do with small group. And if you are not there, they find other chance to meet. We have a meeting session, and yeah, video calls. It's okay.
We have a very creative student affairs department, and they are very inventive and proactive in making sure that your experience as a student, even though it's online, it's still fun. You're still meeting each other. You're still doing things that are non-academic to get the very most out of your time at Glion.
Yes, and there are all lots of challenge too. Like Nicoletta asked us if we wanted to try to be taken in the Women at Dior program. So it's something beside the school, beside the program, or the Mark Challenge. I think we have also an invitation to do it. So it's another chance to meet people and do something else in the program. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Elodie, for reminding this. Yes, I try also on my own to connect even before with to connect with companies even before the field trip or other, official occasions. And so as soon as I receive some solicitations from companies or other universities, I just, give the opportunity to the students to do something together. And meet. So the mentoring program from Dior, Women at Dior, and the Mark Challenge, which is a business plan competition organized by the University of Monaco, and that was won by my students in the very first year in which it was open to other universities. So I just been sharing this opportunity with my actor students.
Thank you.
And sorry, no, go on. If I'm not wrong, Elodie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if you were doing it, but some students were meeting in order to follow together classes, because in Switzerland you can meet up to 5 people, and because I saw them in the Bellevue and they were following the classes together.
Yeah, exactly. I did this once or twice, but since I live in Switzerland, I went back home. Just a matter of meeting my family. But yeah, people do that. Yeah.
Okay, 2 more questions and we will close the session because we're running out of time. So is it possible to be exempted from courses dealing with handling alcohol or spirits, you know, just to be to respect some of the...
It's not possible to be exempted by the course because attendance is compulsory, but we are an international school. We are perfectly aware and we are very respectful of the values of the students. So of course, if for some reasons you cannot deal and you don't want to deal with alcohol, of course you will not do it, as it is normal in Europe. You know, we have, you know, cooks and waiters and restaurant managers from every nationalities and religion, and of course they're not obliged to deal with something that is contrasting with their values. So absolutely, we will make you will attend the course in some way, but absolutely you will not be obliged to go against your values, because we are very respectful. This is one of the bases of the school values.
Okay, thank you. Last question. Would it be possible to follow the program online, so remotely, while being on a full-time job?
No. Sorry. No, because a full-time job, it means, I'm sorry, it is the only thing that is not possible to do, because you will have classes all day long, and if you're working full-time, you know, well, you can follow, you know, the recordings, but honestly, you know, unless you're Superman or Wonder Woman, it's really impossible. So what I suggest you is to take a sabbatic year, or to take an executive program that maybe we will provide one day, but honestly, no, it would be too much. A full, you know, you can have a job during the weekend, a student job, this is totally possible, and but no, this is, as an educator, I would totally not suggest to try and enroll in the program having a permanent job beside, because
I would suggest that both would suffer. So you wouldn't be able to perform in your full-time role correctly. Your career would therefore suffer. You wouldn't be able to get the most out of the program. It's like doing too much at once. It just doesn't work, and both would suffer, and you would suffer, and you would have no private life and social life either, because you just wouldn't have time. And I think, you know, we need to, in all things, and we certainly encourage this in our staff and in our students, a good work-life balance. And that includes some enjoyment, where you can restore yourself and bring new ideas to your studies, to your job. You would just burn out on trying to do both at the same time. That's my opinion, and it would spoil your career. And as a careers advisor, I would definitely advise against it.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you. So this is the end of the session. If you have any more questions, you are welcome to go on our website. You have different options. You can either fill a contact form and get in touch with one of our counselors. You might be able to find some other events, webinars, live open days. There is also a page on our campus pages where you can find the contact details of our student ambassadors, so you can get in touch directly with them. Thank you to all of our panelists. It's been a very great and interesting session. Thank you, Elodie, our student, as well. And I wish everyone on the line a lovely and rest of the day or morning or wherever you are. Good night. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Laurie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.